Hello, stupid.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry. I don't know why I started with okay. Hi,
You're
Sonia.
changing it up. I like it.
I know. It's more assertive. I don't know. It's like, okay, get your act together, Sonia. We're starting. That's
I
what it
think that's our vibe today. I think we both are like slowly still waking up.
means. Right?
You can tell
Uh,
by like our eyes today. We both just rolled out of
yeah,
bed.
squinting. I feel like they're crusty also.
Guys,
I'm kind
it's
of happy to
Saturday
do like daytime
morning.
recording though.
It's cold. It's a slow morning, but let's get into it.
Yeah, let's get into it. Well, hi, good morning. I see you have your coffee as well.
Yeah. Needed, much needed. It's gonna kick in. Midway through the episode, people are gonna feel our tempo pick up.
Yeah. We're gonna become like manic.
Yeah. How have you been?
I've been good. I've been good. We're recording a lot this week. It's kind of nice. I feel productive. I like it was motivating somehow for me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to see what you have in store for me. I know you have a lot of little side things with this episode today, so I'm super excited.
I know, me too. Yeah, I'm very excited about this one too. It's an interesting one. Should we go straight into your icebreaker?
Let's do it. All right. Okay. I'm gonna do. I'm torn between two here, but I'm gonna do this one.
Okay.
If you had to abandon your house in emergency, what would you pack with you? And I'm gonna limit the items that you can take with you. I'm gonna give you
Mhm.
5 items.
Oh, okay. 5 items.
5 items that you can pack with you if you have to leave your house in an emergency.
Oh my god, I have so many like random trinkets that I really love. Um,
I can
okay,
I can
well,
totally like imagine you packing and like freaking out.
oh my god, I would really freak out.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? The most likely scenario is that I would take absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
Are we like emergency? I need to leave soon because it's urgent that I get somewhere soon, or emergency, my house is burning down and my life is in danger.
Emergency, your house is burning down, your life is in danger. And like you don't need to pack like water and food. That will be provided wherever you go. These are like
Yeah, yeah,
your
yeah.
possessions that you might not see again.
Okay, well, I'm obviously taking my phone. Um, it's also right next to me at all times, so that's easy.
Yeah.
Um, I have a candy bowl in the entrance that my grandmother made for my grandfather, and that
Okay.
was like such uh like a staple of our childhood to like take those candies and stuff like that. So that's like a family heirloom. I want that.
That's really cute. I was gonna make fun of you. I thought you were just gonna be like, "There's a candy bowl I would want to take," and I'm like, "What a grandma thing for you to do." But no, it is your grandma's. Makes sense. Cute.
um, I think. Oh my God, I don't really know. Um, yeah, I like. There's I'm looking around, see if there's anything like otherwise. Like I really like my headphones. I want to keep my headphones,
Yeah.
but I don't know. I think like five is like
Too
too
many.
much, like too much to like discriminate between all the like random little stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't have a lot of like paper memories
Hmm.
or stuff that I can't. Oh, you know what? There's a picture of you and I that I can't reprint if I lose. But I think I've
Oh, the
digitalized it.
Polaroid. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Aw, you
But
take out of the 5 items, it's a Polaroid of me and you.
I'm struggling to find ideas here. It's because
No, it's
you're
because I
standing.
mean that much.
Yeah. No, because everything is digitalized. Like I keep my stuff very digitalized, and like physical stuff, I don't really have much of value. I'm
Yeah.
thinking like, yeah, no, I think I'm good with that.
Yeah. You know what? I agree. Actually, like as I'm thinking about this, there's like hardly things in my place that I could not replace. Sure, it'd be a huge money value, like my laptop. Like it would be, I don't like
Yeah.
it'd be a strain on my bank account to get another laptop. But
Yeah.
I think, yeah, I totally agree. I feel like I would take my cat, a toy for
Well, that's a
her.
good idea.
Yeah.
Mhm.
um, and then I think, yeah, like my phone and my headphones, not because I can't replace them or like they mean that much to me. It's like where I want to go. Maybe I want to like like zone out for a bit.
W- Yeah, no, I feel like if I just survive a fire, I need like coping mechanism,
Yeah,
right? So I need
yeah,
my phone and my headphones to like. Ugh.
exactly. Like, yeah, I think, yeah, my devices, unfortunately, this is sad now that I think about it. I thought this was going to be way more interesting.
I mean, I don't know. I'm not bound to any earthly possessions.
And it's like maybe I grab a picture of me and my husband, but at the same time, I have a million on my phone.
Yeah, I was thinking like Ish made a beautiful artwork frame of me and Justin, but I'm pretty sure he has the digital file for that too,
Yeah,
so we could just reprint it.
yeah.
Um,
Guess this question does not work in 2024.
yeah. Also, like I've moved around so much over the last like 8 years that I really, really got good at like downsizing and like not getting attached to small things.
Hmm.
So yeah.
I agree. This is the longest I've been in a place for the last 8 years as well, 3 years, and now I see that I'm hoarding a bit more than like usually I would.
Mm, yeah.
But yeah,
Like there's a lot of stuff I like. Like I love my couch and like I love my stand mixer and stuff like that. But I have insurance. I can buy that back.
and like it's also like you're like fleeing your house. You're not gonna run out with a stand mixer.
We like ruined this icebreaker. We really like took something fun and made it like, ugh.
Fucking materialistic people.
Yeah,
Um, but to our listeners, I guess if you have some better things that you'd flee your house with, please comment and let us know.
yeah.
Um, we'll post this question on our highlights as well.
Let's do that. That's good.
Speaking of your stand mixer, I think we deserve a quick little ice cream update because I
Oh my
saw
god.
Justin's story last night.
um, it took about 2.5 hours to get to a consistency that was acceptable, and well, obviously, I don't think I would try it again because it's not worth the effort. But like, it's kind of crystallized and like it's not a fun texture.
For those of you,
Because
if you didn't listen to last week's episode, Damas stayed outside in -18.
so it was when I first tried it. When we talked last week, when I first tried it, it was like -8 and it wasn't cold enough. I
Mm.
was trying to do ice cream in a stand mixer outside in the cold by just putting like I used 10% lactose free cream. And like I think maybe it would have worked better if I used heavier cream, but all the
Hmm.
recipes I was looking into used milk, so that I thought I was being like extra by using cream in the first place.
Hmm.
So then I tried it again on a colder day, and I got results. Worked, was really long, um, was really stressful process. I would not recommend. And now I have like 2 pints of uh, weird ice cream.
I when I saw Justin's story and it was like he did it and you're holding like a pint of ice cream, I was like, he really needed this win.
Yeah. Yeah. So, it's it was a fun experiment.
I'm glad. I'm glad you were able to get somewhere and report back.
Yeah. The thing is also like I don't think ice cream makers are that expensive. Like the Ninja one is like really really it's expensive, but it's really really good. But I'm pretty sure
Mhm.
there's some cheaper ones out there also.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I think like I would really like a creamy. I think yeah, maybe like I'll ask for that for like my birthday or something.
yeah.
But I also don't make ice cream that much.
But I think I would if I had the creamy because you
True,
could
I
just
think so.
throw frozen fruits in it and then you have a sorbet
Yeah,
and
oh
it's
that sounds
delicious,
so good. Oh my god, yeah.
right? I know I
Yeah.
really want it. I have a friend who has it, and I'm very jealous.
Yeah.
So,
All right. So, what do you have for us today?
oh my god, I went down a weird rabbit hole, as we do. That's the whole concept of our episode. First of all, okay, I would like to give a little bit of a trigger warning for this episode. Um, it might not be as funny of one, but I think it's interesting. However, we are going to talk about um, prisoners and inmates and people who've committed crimes. And we are going to talk about their well-being. So I wanted to acknowledge that for victims or for people who have who are close to who have close ones who have been victimized of of violent crimes or just traumatic crimes, it might be might be hard to hear some count and compassion showed to the people who've committed those crimes. So um, I just wanted to say that yeah, if this is an episode that might be difficult to listen to, just skip it. No hard feelings. And we do also acknowledge that obviously there's some very real victims in this scenario who deserve even greater compassion, and and that it's a very complex issue, that it's not all black and white, and that there's a lot of feelings that can be involved, and they're all valid. So I want to start with that. um Now I also wanted to take you down the same path I had. So I was on Instagram and started having a lot of these reels. So I'll invite you to maybe open your phone, and I sent you some reels on Instagram already. I asked you not to look at them, and
Okay.
look at the first one I sent you, and maybe play the video, next to the microphone so we can all hear it.
Yeah. One.
From my wedding.
That's not the video. That's just Instagram. All right. Let me just make sure. Yeah. So I have.
Hello, world. Hey, I've never actually done this before. Um, Heard a lot of good things about it. Figured I'd send a video, get out of my comfort zone a little bit. Uh, it's always nice to meet new people, have some good conversations. So, yeah, I hope to hear from you guys soon, and I hope you have a blessed day. And yeah, all right, bye.
So this is Idaho inmate pen pal, and this is
Yeah,
Sage Lee Siller, and he's hot.
he's hot, and he seems sweet,
Yeah.
right? Okay,
Yeah.
put on the second one.
Okay. Oh.
My name is Jesse. I've been incarcerated for about 3 years. I've gotten really good at art. I've been working out. I do a 12 step. I'm in all my programs right now. So if you want to talk, hit me up. My IDOC number is 141-306. You can hit me up on JPay.
And then he shows pictures of his artwork, and it's like pictures of his baby and stuff.
And Batman.
Yeah. So I've been seeing, like I spent hours going through that Instagram page and going through all the profiles of pen pal profiles, and they're like on for this one it's like video profiles, obviously,
Yeah.
and had been having a lot of mixed feelings. Like,
So for those of you listening that haven't had a chance to look at the videos, it's just like the prisoner just is in prison on the phone, and you heard the audio, but he also kind of playing with the camera. They're like smiling and smirking.
flirting.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And some of them are gorgeous. In the caption, I think it says what they've been committed for.
Oh, let's check here. So let's see. Sage Lee Siller. Oh, he's age 24. Offenses are battery against a present or past official, judge, officer, jailer, or corrections employee. Battery aggravated. Parole eligibility date is September 19th, 2024. That was the first guy. And then Jesse Jones is the second guy. And his offenses are assault, aggravated, and robbery. He's 29.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm trying to sell
So
them to you guys. Sorry.
I know. So that's why I was like, oh, like they seem sweet. This makes me kind of like, I find it cute. It also makes me kind of sad because they look lonely. They're just trying to reach out to have pen pal. Then it's also like, wait, battery, like they're kind of violent people. Like this is like, so I've been having a lot of mixed feelings about it, and I've never really put any thought behind prison pen pals
Hmm.
before. So I thought I'd just look into it and explore those feelings and explore those just learn more about it.
Well, it's so funny. Like, I don't really, I like, they come up every now and then. I think a lot of TV shows and movies talk about like prison pen pals. But
Yeah.
recently, like, Gypsy Rose, her case has been huge. And I think she married her prison pen pal. Um,
Oh,
have
I
you,
don't know who that is.
oh, Gypsy Rose is like this girl. Basically, her mom took advantage of her by saying that she like had
Yeah.
a lot of
Yeah.
disabilities. Are you talking about this?
No, no,
Oh,
but I know who that is.
okay,
That was
yeah.
crazy
And then she
case.
killed her mom with her boyfriend at that time, and then now she's been in
Hmm.
prison for I'm not too sure how long. But then, yeah, she started dating this guy. I think he was her prison pen pal, and now she's married to him, and she's out and enjoying life with him. And that's kind of
Yeah.
what comes into mind now, because that's the most recent I've heard about prison pen pals.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, and I think they've been on social media a little bit more, but you're right. Like we hear about it a lot in media, like in like even on TV and stuff like that as a reference. Um, but yeah, I never looked into it. I'm familiar with pen pals. Did you ever have like a pen pal?
No, I didn't. I wish I did. It sounds really cool, but I never did.
Yeah, I feel like in school they made us write to someone like in another country, but I don't remember. Like, I definitely didn't exchange more that one uh, obligatory letter.
Yeah. I wonder if like your school just made you write the letter and then it just went nowhere. The teachers just kept it.
No, I think we got a response.
Oh
Yeah,
no way, that's cool.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, so pen pals in Wikipedia define pen pals as people who regularly write to each other, particularly via postal mail. Pen pals are usually strangers whose relationship is based primarily or even solely on this exchange of letters. Um, Pen pals are basically like I was trying to look like when do did pen pal start, right? When, but then I was like, oh, right, it's I couldn't find any information. It was puzzle. And I was like, oh, it's just exchanging letters. It's basically as old as time.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
When like
like, oh,
postage started. Or even when they
yeah,
had owls
exactly.
exchanging your letters for you.
Exactly. But the first matching service is believed to be a student letter exchange in 1936, and it was an organization that aimed to encourage students, sorry, to gain knowledge from other countries by making friends. So that would be the first like pen pal organization.
Hmm.
Um, in the 70s, they became very popular with children. Children were encouraged a lot to find pen pals, often used as like educational tools. Um, for prison pen pals, I couldn't find much information on like what the first organization was,
Hmm.
but it's very popular in the United States in particular. Um, the reason for that we'll get into a little bit, but basically is because of how messed up the whole prison industry is in the United States. Just the fact that it's an industry in the United States
Yeah.
is kind of messed up. And then pen pal services are also most of them for profit in the United States.
Oh.
Yeah. So there's about a dozens of websites to match you with a prison pen pal. Typically, the ones who are for profit, the prisoner pay for the subscription fee,
Okay.
and it's free for the users on the outside.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So the biggest one in the United States would be maybe writeaprisoner.com. Let me show you. Okay, my first slide. So I have a few. I went on them and I have a few profiles from Write a Prisoner. So that's Write a Prisoner. You don't have to read the whole profile, but you can see that it's very, very detailed on Right a Prisoner. You have their astrological sign. You have the release date. Right a Prisoner also force people to disclose their charges
Mm-hmm.
or their convictions.
Mm-hmm.
You have their eyes, their height, their weight. No, not the weight. Date of birth,
Their
and like
astrological sign.
yeah, and you can search by all of that.
Yeah.
You can search by their ethnicity, um, and then you can post more than one picture on there, and you have like a big
Sorry,
profile
his
section.
weight is there actually, and he like describes himself as muscular. That's very interesting.
Yeah.
And oh wait, he doesn't do drugs. Sorry, I thought he really does drugs. I was like, oh, that's fun to disclose in your prison um,
Yeah.
profile.
A lot of them did disclose that they're professional trainers. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. Like that could be a reason to write to someone
Like personal
to have
trainers?
like, yeah, fitness trainers
Oh,
to get
imagine
like
he's doing
fitness
your
tips
meal
and
plan
tricks.
through prison.
I mean, um, so writeaprisoner.com, they don't encourage looking for romantic connections, but they recognize that it does happen.
Mm-hmm.
The sites requires all users, like I said, to disclose their crimes. They also recommend that you Google the inmate you're interested in talking to before to have more details on their crime. And again, it's for profit, this one.
Okay.
So here's another profile. I found a profile of Tabby, who is an Aries.
It's pretty.
Yeah. And so this is another one that I found they have a lot of you can put more than one profile pictures, but on this one I found people put pictures of before their incarceration a lot. So you can see them in
What I find
like in the
interesting here, it says like seeking a prayer partner. And
yeah.
but like she her religion's unknown, so she's looking to find religion, I guess. That's very interesting.
That is interesting. Oh, that's a good catch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Or maybe she doesn't want to disclose it in the first profile. She maybe after a few exchanges.
Yeah.
But it's weird if you're seeking for a prayer partner.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, the next one I have is Canadian Inmates Connect.
Ooh.
Um, yeah. So I have a profile from Connor Campbell, who's in British Columbia.
Wait, stop. Okay, this is the start of his bio. Hi, ladies. I'm in search of a woman that loves long walks in the visiting room and watching a beautiful sunset through razor wire. Dot dot dot. LOL. Winky face.
Yeah.
He's shooting his shot. Good for him. Good for you, Connor.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, Convicted of second degree murder, has
Nice.
life to 18 years. And he's interested in corresponding with women. 1994. He's quite young.
I think I went to high school with this guy. No, I'm joking, but his name sounds so familiar.
um, so on Canadian Inmate Connect, it's not for profit.
Mhm.
It's I think there might be some fees, but it's mostly administration fees, I think.
Okay.
Um, they have a big banner on the when you look for the inmate page. They have a big banner that says, "Please be advised, it is not recommended to send money to inmates, and also it is recommended that you Google the inmate before writing." I'll touch a bit more on Canadian Connect later when we'll look on a specific case, but I read a lot about them. It seems like it's pretty much managed by just this one woman that
Oh.
does it all. A lot of the web page for all of these were very, very basic HTML.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm wondering if, well, first of all, they don't put a lot of money into the designing, but I'm wondering also, internet connections in prison can maybe be very slow. So to have some pages that are easy to load,
That's
maybe
true.
there's purpose behind that,
Yeah, that's a
right?
really good point. I never thought of that.
Yeah. Um, And yeah, she seemed to manage all of it by himself. And there's testimonies, we'll find some later, but they're all addressed to her personally. So I think she even like corresponds with all of them
I feel
personally.
like I don't know who she is, but in my head, I'm thinking this is a mom whose son went to prison and he's sad and he's like, "Mom, I just want to find a real connection," and she's like, "Son, I'm gonna set up a website for you so you can meet some girls."
Well, that's interesting you say that, because I think that for a lot of them, oh, this is another one from Canadian Inmate Connect.
Hmm.
For a lot of them, I think they it's passion projects, definitely.
Hmm.
Like for a lot of the creators of the websites, it's stuff. It's something that they're very passionate about.
Nice.
The other one have an example of is Hot Prison Pals. Yes, it's definitely more LGBTQI plus catered.
Mhm.
Um, and I found this one was really interesting because I went on it also. They have a podcast where they interview former inmates. Sam Wagner, which is the guy, seems really passionate about it also, and passionate about um, just reintegrating former inmates into society and helping them while they're in prison also.
Mhm.
But the hook definitely seems to be sexual and attraction. So the pictures are a bit more sexy on this one, a bit more dating profile,
Ooh.
but the I found that the bios were the some of the sweetest ones and the most almost like not like dating, but also like just like less sleazy, more like, hey, I love this kind of things, and like I'm just like, please talk to me kind of thing.
Aw, cute.
Yeah. So I feel like the hot prison pal, like you remember that website Hot or Not?
Yeah.
It was giving me that vibe, but I feel like that's just the hook to get people interested in
Mhm.
communicating with these guys,
Mhm.
right?
I think all the other websites explicitly say we don't recommend you sending money or having relationships with these people. Well, this one, I think it's like the opposite. Because, I mean, why would you go on Hot Prison Pal to make friends? It's to look for someone,
Yeah.
potential lover.
Well, there's definitely some that are more catered towards dating.
Hmm.
And I haven't visited them much, but there's Love a Prisoner, for example.
Hmm.
And it feels like those are more like for profit machines,
Okay.
right? And then there's also one called Prison Friendship that has a TikTok account.
Ooh.
So if you want to open your Instagram again, just maybe uh, the first video, the third video I sent you, then that's from them.
Hello, what's going on? How's everybody doing? I am obviously an incarcerated individual, and I see the board in a few years. I'm looking for a tutor, and preferably Swedish. And I know there's plenty of fish out there. That was my little dad joke. Swedish fish to help me, perhaps. And because I see the board in a few years, and the only thing I feel like that has enough magic to distract me. Hello,
Okay,
what's
that was
going on?
it. That's
How's
so funny. What
Yeah,
kills me is that, like, he's looking for a tutor. The way he spelled tutor is Tudor.
yeah,
He's
I
looking for a
saw that too.
tutor. Uh, he really needs a tutor, guys. Please reach out to him.
Yeah. And then there's this other one that I really liked called Black and Pink.
Mhm.
And it's US based, but I don't think it's for profit either. And it's again more. Let me read you their bio. At Black and Pink, we coordinate a nationwide pen pal program in which we match incarcerated LGBTQIA2S plus people and people living with HIV or AIDS with pen pals who correspond, build relationships, and participate in harm reduction and affirmation. And they go on saying that, like for people of the that community, corresponding with someone on a regular basis is a harm reduction strategy, and it feels like very much set up for support for people in the queer community.
Okay, that's really
Um,
nice.
yeah, and I'll touch a bit more on them because they had some. They had the best built website, and they had a lot of tips and tricks and instructions on how to proceed.
Mm-hmm.
So all of them, what they have in common, and the many more that I didn't go into, it's like, yeah, prisoners will post photos or videos, like very much like Tinder style bio. They'll have their likes and dislikes and hobby. Um, Many, if not most, of the services will force them to disclose their charges. And then there's information on how to contact them, which can be very complicated at times. Um, I think Write a Prisoner, what they still do is that you write an email, they print the email and then mail it to the prisoner.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Um, so that's for the services. But then I was wondering, okay, so who actually does this? Who goes and find prisoners to write to,
Yeah.
right? So I found this article by Christy Keller, who asked herself the same question. Basically, she um, she has a family member who is incarcerated, and she signed them up for the services. And she said it took many months before they started receiving letters. I think like something like 4 or 5 months.
Oh,
But
wow.
once they did, they were surprised by the people and the reasons that started writing to them. So she said there was parents, professional teachers, and writers, and people from like all walks of life basically writing in, and that they seem intelligent, educated, compassionate, and supportive, and they were just looking to understand more about their life. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Interestingly, most of the articles that I've read about prison pen pals, the authors um, had either reached out for the articles to a pen pal or were describing their own relationship with prison pen pal. So I think it's something people do also for research a lot,
Mm-hmm.
right? On writeaprisoner.com, they have some stats. They say that most of the writers are over the age of 30 and usually motivated by empathy and friendship. 50% of their writers are women looking to correspond with men inmate.
Mm-hmm.
And they also say that most of the inmates need a friend more than they need a romantic partner. I think all of the service are for 18 plus
Okay.
on across the board. And then I was reading another case also in an article of Rachel Phelps, who's a 34-year-old postal service employee that started writing to incarcerated people when she was 18. And she still does now at 34.
Wow.
And it was very much of meant to be a hobby, she said. I was doing it because I thought they would be lonely.
Aw.
So I think there's really people who do it just because they really believe in it,
Mm-hmm.
right? They believe that it's kind of an essential service.
Yeah.
Then I was reading this article by Emma Clifton. The author shared um, in an article for Capsule that here are some of the things that I have discussed with my pen pal. Weird things that our cat do, our favorite flavor of chip, how they celebrate Christmas inside prison, his workout routine, being a nerd, favorite books and film, cars, and more. He was one of the first people I talked to about my pregnancy in those weird in between months where you're not sure who to discuss it with.
Oh, wow.
And he wrote, yeah, and he wrote me a 2-page letter about how much he loved being a dad and what a treat I was in for.
Aw, that's really cute.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, that's super interesting. Like, I think early on in pregnancy, a lot of women don't want to talk about it too much because there's still a great risk of not being able to, like, of the terminating the pregnancy early.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, but you probably still want to work or talk about all these things and these fears and anxieties, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that can be true for so many things going on in your life that you don't feel is appropriate to talk about with close ones, but to talk about a stranger, talk about with a stranger could be. Um, so I think, you know, I was reading some testimonies, and a lot of it also feel a bit like almost like keeping a diary,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
right?
I like something that I'm thinking about here is like, you know what? Like, it's like, yeah, kind of keeping a diary. You're writing to this person and they exist and they're real, but you don't see them. You don't really, you've never had a face to face conversation
Yeah.
with them and stuff like that. And I think that's why people also easily fall in love with these people, because you make up what it may be like to be with them, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, oh, okay, like they said this. Oh my God, I'm sure he's the kind of guy that does this or the kind of girl that does this. And that's why people can easily fall in love with them, you know?
You also have like their undevoted attention almost,
Mhm.
because a lot of the people in prison, a lot of the inmates, they do it to pass time a lot,
Yeah.
and they don't have connections with many people, and so, you know, you quickly become one of the most important connections in your
Yeah. They
life.
don't have access to many people, you know? So, yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
That's so interesting.
Yeah. So Black and Pink, that website I was talking about, had um, again, like a lot of helpful tips. They had a section like important things to know when writing.
Hmm.
Um, First, reply letters might take a while because of the whole process they have to go through. It's not always easy for them to reply to use.
Hmm.
And then again, they're focused on the queer community. So openness about LGBTQ identity. They say mail call often happens in public spaces in the prison.
Hmm.
So when someone hears their name called by a prison guard during mail call, it is a reminder that people on the outside care about them. And it's also a message to the guards and to other incarcerated people that this person has a support and is not forgotten.
Aww.
I know. Yeah. This can be a vital harm reduction strategy for people who are locked up, especially queer and trans folk. I thought, like, oh my God, that's so interesting. Like, it's kind of a status thing almost to
Hmm.
receive mail in prison,
Yeah.
right? And they say building validating relationships. They say do not speak down, discriminate against, shame, or condescend your pen pal. Uh, we are about building relationships and validating that our struggle as people of color, activists, sex workers, youth workers, immigrant, anti-capitalist, trans, queer, gender non-conforming people are intricately connected with prison abolition and liberation. They talk about setting boundaries. Remember to be transparent about your own boundaries and respecting boundaries that your pen pal has set. Please voice any concerns you have with your pen pal in loving and affirming way, and try to receive feedback that they give you. If for any reason you're not comfortable or can no longer engage with your pen pal, please let Black and Pink know. Boundaries is a theme that came up a lot in some cases I was reading.
Hmm.
I think often they might push their boundaries, but also often when you express, firmly your boundaries, and this is a condition of you writing to them, they tend to respect those.
Hmm.
Right. Funds. This may include a request for funds or other form of support. Pen pals are not required to send funds. If you decide to send a package or send funds to their commissary, be clear about the amount and frequency you're committing to, and reflect on how this may impact your pen pal dynamic, right?
Hmm.
And then also, there might be some letters which feel flirtatious or sexual. Your safety and comfort are your own. So if you're okay with sexy letters, keep writing to them. If you aren't, please respond respectfully and firmly again, and just put up some boundaries.
Hmm.
A part that I particularly like, they invited users to consider, why do you want to write to a person in prison before writing to them? What is your capacity and frequency? Like, for example, like how regularly can you write to someone in prison? And when I was thinking about, oh, is this something I would like to do? Then I was like, oh, I'm glad I saw this question, because I don't think I'm able right now to commit to something regular and frequent. And I think it might be, counterproductive or even damaging for the person.
Yeah.
If if I'm not frequent about it.
Yeah, I'm sure there's people out there that are like, oh my god, I want to try this out, and like they do, and they like make a pen pal friend, and then it's after that it's like it was kind of like a phase. They just like wanted to do it for fun, and they're over it. But that pen
Yeah.
pal sitting in prison probably thinking about them, and like wishing
Yeah.
it right back. Yeah, totally.
And then they also invite you to consider how it might be difficult to hear about their condition,
Mhm.
and the life that they live, right?
Yeah.
And to see if you're prepared to hear all that on a regular basis, because it is their reality, right?
Mhm.
So there's definitely, a lot of people who write for very altruistic and genuine reasons,
Mhm.
but there's also a lot of not that.
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking, like, imagine, like, you're, like, like, you find out that someone who killed your sister is in prison and you try and hunt them down to, like, now
Oh my
catfish
god,
them.
like catfish them?
Yeah.
That would be a great movie,
Yeah.
or maybe a book,
But then
since
you
it's
actually fall in love with them.
oh my god, oh my god. Um, there is a psychology term called hybristophilia.
Okay.
Do you want to take a guess of what that is?
You mind repeating that?
Hybristophilia.
I don't know. No, I'm not clue.
You don't know your ancient Greek? Uh, it's a term given to a condition that defines being attracted only to partners who have a predatory history, or partners who commit violent crimes.
Oh my god.
They also call it like the Bonnie and Clyde syndrome.
Mm-hmm.
But it's people who like are attracted and seek out, basically criminals, specifically violent criminals.
Yeah. I'm not
It
surprised.
comes from the sorry.
I'm not surprised because there are those people that like want the red
Oh yeah,
flags.
yeah, and like there's like serial killer fan clubs,
Yeah.
and stuff,
I think when
right?
Ted Bundy was in prison, he had so many pen pals. I think he married one of his pen pals.
He did,
Mhm.
yeah, he did definitely. Um, I think there's people, yeah, who seek relationship with famous serial killers. It can be present in any gender, but it's more often than not in straight women. And there used to be like a whole Reddit thread dedicated to it, but apparently now it's banned. I couldn't find it on Reddit, and I think Reddit removed it. But like basically, like we were saying, like fan clubs for some of these people,
Yeah.
right? Let's go quickly into some pros and cons for both the prisoners and also the people writing to them.
Mm-hmm.
So prisoners first. In the pros, again from Canadian Inmate Connect, they say that Canadian Inmate Connect, they say by inmates maintaining communication with society through pen pals, it decreased the chance of institute. Oh my god.
Institute. Oh no.
Institutionalization.
You did it.
Mhm. Kind of, right? I'm pretty sure our listeners will be able to piece the pieces together. I'm not doing it. I get it. It might also be a pro-social method of reintegration and reduce rate of recidivism. So yeah, having a pen pal reduce and chances of reoffending. There's a lot of studies on that actually.
Interesting.
It also combats boredom and depression. It helps pass time and give them something to look forward to. So yeah, there's this 2015 study of incarcerated people in Britain who had pen pals. They found that they felt less isolated, happier, and more hopeful about their life after prison. Then it also connects people back to their communities and also connect them to new communities who are perhaps more supportive of a life without crime,
Mm-hmm.
right? And it exposes them to new dynamics also. So there was a testimony of a prisoner who had pen pal who said, she taught me how to be friend. I didn't know how to be friend with a woman before.
Aww.
Right. So here are some of the testimonies on Canadian Inmate Connect. Do you want to read the maybe the second one?
I just wanted to thank Canadian Inmates Connect for connecting me with someone that I can relate to on a different level. It's refreshing to be able to talk to someone who is unbiased without feeling like you are being judged. With the help of CIC, I have found a lifelong friend. We both went into this blindly for different reasons, and the outcome has been nothing short of greatness. My expectation has been exceeded. Had it not been for CIC, I would have never crossed paths with the person I met, and for that, I say thank you. Lyric S, sent via email.
There's a lot of really nice testimonies on Canadian Inmate Connect.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them were definitely about finding love.
Aww.
And it's so cute. Like they often start like with like, thank you so much for your services. I'm so grateful. Please take my profile down. I don't need any more. I found love. But it's not all pros. There's cons for them also. For the inmates, they can face rejection a lot, either by not receiving letters at all. There's one who said that it was really difficult for the first 6 months because he says basically he felt rejected by the internet daily.
Aww.
You know, especially when other people around him who maybe recommended the service to him have pen
Someone was
pals.
probably like, I got so many letters. It was so fun. And so he's waiting for all these letters and gets none,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. Then receiving letters that are super exciting to you at first, only to be ghosted by that person after a few exchanges,
Yeah.
can be very difficult also. Ghosting in general, right? Might be
Exactly.
difficult. And then there's also, they're also somewhat at risk of being taken advantage of. There's definitely a power dynamic in play here.
Mm-hmm.
From someone on the outside versus someone who's incarcerated.
Something that also comes up is that, sorry, what was the word that you used for the type of people that want like, someone? Hybristophilia. So I'm thinking like, like say you reach, like you connect with someone, but they want a criminal and they want you to continue committing crimes.
Like,
and it's like
fetishizing you.
Yeah, and you're like, no, I'm hoping to get better. And it's like, no, when you get out, maybe we can rob a bank together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So like,
yeah, or want you to talk and brag about it, whereas you have a lot of regrets, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's definitely, they put themselves in a vulnerable position a lot just by accepting that power dynamic in first place. There's also potential for a lot of catfishing, right?
Yeah.
Especially if you get hot and steamy and sexy with these people and they want pictures and stuff like that. You're exposing yourself at the risk of being catfished.
And like I
also,
mean, prisoners don't have access to other social media, so the way people on the outside, find catfishes is like, okay, let's just check, let's see if he has a Facebook profile, how many friends does he have, and things like that. You can't do that sitting in prison, so then it could be a 100%. A man writing to you pretending to be a woman and all those things. Oh man, I didn't think of any of that.
And also, you might just be more inclined to want to believe it if it's one of the only two letters you received, right?
100%, yeah.
Right, and if you're, you want to fall in love, it's you're more easily victim of that. Then also, I was thinking like, a lot of them might seek support or money or funds or support for after they're released in some ways, and a lot of that can even be offered to them if they don't seek it, or even just holding up me keep writing to you and stuff like that, or dangling that over them to pressure them into beliefs or behaviors that don't align with their values, right?
Mhm.
It's like, well, I'm thinking just like conversion to like religions and stuff like that,
Oh yeah.
and right. So they're in a vulnerable position, definitely. Um, I do think, however, for prisoners, the pros outweighs the cons. Um, I think there's a lot of benefits to be being there. And then for the I wrote civilians, but like people on the outside, a lot of pros and cons also. On Reddit, I found a testimony: writing a prisoner is very rewarding. I've been writing to a few for the past year and really opened my eyes. Sometimes the only letters they get are from strangers, and that one letter can make them feel that they're still human and still cared for. Right? It can help you acquire a new perspective on life. It's a good deed, and you can find value into your actions and to yourself by committing good deeds in general, right?
Mhm.
It's a really good way to learn about the system and learn about that lifestyle, which, like I said, a lot of journalists use that to get in touch with them. A lot of activists also use that to get in touch with them. And also, it's a great way to share your life with someone and get perspective from someone who's typically not in your social circle. Get a very different perspective on your life and on your issues.
Mhm.
For cons, I think there's a lot here also for civilians.
Mhm.
You are putting yourself at risk of some harassment and some stalking,
Mhm.
especially for letter writing. So a lot of the services require that you put a return address.
Oh, so they give the letter to the inmate with the return address?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that is risky
Yes.
for sure.
Yeah. So it's something to consider for sure.
Yeah.
I think some people use this PO box for that purpose. Um, you can receive some very pushy sexual letters. I think a lot of them definitely are they're seeking for love and sexual connections.
Mhm.
Also, many of them are trying to hustle people for money. I think it's a common theme, and I think it's getting more and more popular.
Mhm.
Um, they may also, try to just build a relationship just to use someone for their release, either as like a testimony for their release or someone who might be able to um, just host them after, like, to be somewhere to live and to crash after they get released, especially when they try
Yeah.
to build like romantic relationships.
Mhm.
Um, so that's something to look out for. Um, the red flags that they say to look out for also is, when they immediately start using terms of endearment before they even know you. That's
That's like in life too, right?
yeah,
I feel like.
that's true. These
Yeah.
are actually really good dating advice in general.
That's what I'm literally thinking as you're going through them. I'm like, yeah, the prison dating and just real life, you know?
That's good
There's
point.
people we know attracted to just red flags.
Yeah. Constantly talking about things they need early on in the conversation. Again, good for real life. Claim that they're only talking to you, while it's possible it's very unlikely.
Hmm.
And um, when they seek out a pen pal but claim that they don't have the money required to communicate, right?
Mm.
Because a lot of them are paying services. Um, so this will be their first test of willingness of you to give them money, often. So I'm like,
Yeah.
well, if you subscribe to the service, you seeked out it, but you didn't think ahead of how you're going to pay for it. Most likely, it's not that they don't have the money to pay for it; it's that they want to see if you're willing to send them money,
Yeah.
right? So some things to watch out for also if you choose to write to an inmate. Um, then I want to go into a few interesting cases, actually, because this is where things, I think, get more complicated for me.
Hmm.
Um, okay, slide 9. What do you see here?
Oh, it's Luca Magnotta, the don't fuck with cats guy.
Yeah, exactly. Luca Magnotta had a profile up on Canadian Inmate Connect in 2015, and it caused quite the media storm.
I
Um,
bet.
do you want to read his profile?
Single white male, 33, 5'11", and 175 pounds, with dark hair and blue eyes, seeking a single white male, 28 to 38 years of age, white and in shape, one who is loyal, preferably educated, financially and emotionally stable for a long term committed relationship. If you think you could be my Prince Charming, send me a detailed letter with at least 2 photos. Only those I deem compatible will receive a response. Serious inquiries only. All unsolicited mail will be discarded.
Wow.
And it also says here, convicted of, not stated. But
Mm-hmm.
you just have to Google him, you'll figure it out.
Yeah. So that's something that changed after the media caught wind of his profile on there. Now, Canadian Inmate Connect has made the convicted of a mandatory field from this. But yeah, his profile is like cringe. He
It's
says
so
white male so many
picky.
times.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Only those I deem compatible will receive a response. But you know what's scary is I'm sure he got so many responses. That's why he had to put that there.
So his profile was taken down on his request because he said that he got what he was looking for.
On his request. Oh,
Yeah.
wait, what? Oh my God.
Yeah. So this was like, oh, like when you know so in like you know so well the crimes that were committed by this person, you're like all of a sudden like, oh, I don't know if I feel right about this anymore.
Yeah, you know what? During this episode, as we were talking about it and sympathizing with the criminals, a part of me wants to say, like, I hope they're also, doing some healing and growing from the crimes they committed, not
Mm-hmm.
just like, okay, well, now I'm in prison. Let's just like write letters to people and try and catfish a bunch of people around the world, you know?
No, totally. And it sounds like a lot of um, the reward they get from pen pals is that healing and growth also,
Mm,
right?
mm,
But um, but yeah, I can see why people were upset about this,
mm,
right? And Melissa Fazina, who is the woman who maintains Canadian Inmate Connect, she says that yeah, I mean, she acknowledged that some may find her business unsettling, especially the victims of the inmates. And she said,
mm,
obviously, with every inmate, it doesn't matter who it is, there's going to be some sort of victim. I feel horrible for their loss and what they're going through. But the bottom line is that this is a human right that these inmates are entitled to, and they have the right to communicate through written letters with people on the outside. To me, it's an all or nothing when it comes to these rights. It's like, well, she's
That's
not wrong.
true.
If it's a human right, it's applicable to everyone,
Yeah.
right? And she
It's not
says,
her fault. Some people
just
are using it for the wrong reasons.
exactly, exactly. And she said, just like with any sites that's out there for people who correspond to meet people, you have to be careful. You know that you're communicating with a federal inmate. You have to be careful. These are vulnerable women out there, but there's also inmates that are vulnerable too, right? And she said that, like, when she dealt with Magnotta, she treated him the same way she did any other inmate,
Hmm.
which is fair. And I don't know what the solution would be here. Like, I don't know. Should he be censored? Should he be entitled to this service or not? Should there be some screening done for the service? It's a complex issue for sure.
It is. It is. You can't, like, yeah, I have no answer for that one because it's like you can't, a prisoner is a prisoner, right? Um,
Yeah.
you can't be like, okay, well, only people that have committed the like non-severe crimes can connect with people. Um, but I feel like
I guess the only vetting process is like a bio like his. You know, like that's I hate it. I hate it so much, and they shouldn't be
I know, I
bios
hate
like
it
this
so
out
much.
there.
I know.
Um,
Um, yeah, it's it's a lot for sure. Uh,
mhm.
and then when I read this, I was thinking of the hours I spent on the Instagram reel, being like, "Ooh, he's hot. Ooh, he's cute. Oh, what a sweetie," and not thinking at all about their crimes and the victims behind them. I
Yeah,
was like, "Oh shit! All of these cuties committed something very horrible and damaging, and probably very traumatic to someone else."
exactly.
Not all of them, definitely not all of them. Sorry. There's a lot of the profiles who are drug possession, especially in the States, where it's just like, okay, well, this guy got caught twice with a joint on him, kind of thing, right? So
Yeah.
there's that's the thing where it's hard to separate, and it's hard to be like, well, who is entitled to this service and who isn't,
Mhm.
right? Um, and I don't know if it's like she says, like Melissa Fazina, if it's human rights, it's good for everyone.
Hmm. Yeah.
So
Yeah. Just Google them before, I think, is
exactly.
the best advice. And if you are those people that are attracted to the red flags, please seek therapy.
Hmm. Yeah, that's a very good advice. Definitely do that. Okay, I want to finish us off with two Reddit posts about how some questions on because there's some subreddits on anime pen pal. So the first one here, are you able to read it?
Yeah. So the title is How Should I Go About Ending Communication with My Prison Pal of 8 Years? In college, I started writing to an inmate on death row as a sort of do some good in this world project. Let's call him Daniel. Fast forward 8 years to now, I am married with a new baby. My husband has asked me that I stop writing to Daniel, and I agreed to do so. Though the relationship has been platonic from my perspective, it makes my husband uncomfortable, and I can understand where he's coming from. My question is, how should I end this relationship? I would like to avoid hurting Daniel's feelings if possible, but my main goal is to try and prevent him from seeking me out in the future. The way I see it, I have four options. 1. Tell a white lie. Example, I won't be able to write to you anymore because my baby is taking up my time, etc. 2. Tell him the truth. My husband doesn't want me writing to him anymore. 3. Make up something elaborate. 4. Just stop writing to him. We have recently moved and I've changed my name legally, so now he won't be able to locate me in the future in theory. And just so it's clear, I'm not looking for anyone to say I should keep writing to him despite my husband's wishes. I value my husband's feelings more than a pen pal's relationship, and if the roles were reversed, I would want him to prioritize my feelings as well. Interesting. And that, like, you know what, so many things came up there for me, because it's like, she like, I feel I don't relate to this person, but I see where this person is coming from, right?
Hmm.
She started a platonic friendship with a pen pal to do something good. Now she's respecting her husband's feelings, but obviously you don't really think of like the potential consequences. Like, this man could seek her out once he's released.
Well, he's on death row. He's most likely not going to be released. That's all
You're
why she
right.
also said that she changed her address recently and she changed her legal name also. But yes, um, there's always a risk of, I would say, retaliation.
Him escaping.
Yeah. And also, beyond that, it's like this person probably really doesn't have going on in their life right now, and they're, in their final years of their life. And how do you go about rejecting them and telling them, like, it's a very complex issue. I was like, oh, that's true. And like, that's something you have to keep in mind if you decide to write to someone, is that you might have to end it someday also, and it's basically a breakup. It is going to be damageable for them.
Yeah, and you know what? Like, yeah, what if he escaped and he's like, this person, they've been so nice to me for the last 8 years. I'm gonna go find them. She will, of course, take me in and
Mm.
help me. And now you have a fugitive in your house.
Okay, you
I
brought it way out there, but sure, why not?
Yeah.
um,
what would you do out of the four options?
I think I would be, you know, just honest but vague, and be
Yeah.
due to the circumstances in my life. I um, have to put an end to our pen pal relationship, and really grateful for the years that we had communicating together. Um, I wish you all the best moving forward. This will be the last time I read to you, kind of thing.
But you'd be honest. So, like, option number two, kind of tell him the truth. Like, hey, my partner's not comfortable with me writing you.
No, I'd just be vague about it.
Oh, vague. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
That's not even one of our options, but good option. Yeah.
I think I would. Yeah,
I think I would do number one.
tell them like I just don't have time, the baby, and all that.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. Like, and then kind of end it on a good note. Like, hey, like, I just didn't want to ghost you. I'm so sorry. Like,
Yeah,
and stuff like that.
yeah. That's good too, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, here's the next one.
Okay.
Do you want to read it for us again?
Sure. So the title is Prison Pen Pal is in Love with Me. So I have a prison pen pal in the States. I'm in Canada. And recently he profused his love for me. He and I have been writing and emailing on JPay for a few months. But other than mundane day-to-day things, I talk about
He really knows nothing about my life. Do you want me to continue? Is it too small for you?
sure, yeah. I'm getting a little lost.
Okay. I talk about how he really knows nothing about my life at all, not even my real name. Now he's on death row. He's never getting out, but safety first. His crime is also horrendous, and I'm not sure anyone else is writing to him. He's seen one picture of me, and I've used filters so that it's a bit obscure. I want to continue writing to him, but I'm definitely not in love with the guy. I'm married with kids, which he doesn't know, and maybe there's an assumption that people writing to prisoners are looking for love. I met him on writeaprisoner.com and literally click on the find someone button and just wrote to the first one. I don't want to hurt his feelings. I imagine Death Row is quite lonely, and with his crime, I don't think he gets a lot of letters. What do I do? Then there's an edit. Part of the reason I'm asking this is because I'm autistic and I often miss important social cues. That being said, I find it easier to write, email, and text with others. There may have been signs I missed, for instance, when he calls me little lady, but he's also from the South, and I chalked that up to being southern. Southern. I'm worried because my omission of personal details mixed with my inability to recognize flirting and thinking its kindness may have led him on. Then there's an update, but I don't think we need to read the update. How do you feel about that?
Okay, wait, I need to read the update.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll just read it out loud then. So first, some clarity regarding the crime. He robbed a store with some type of automatic weapon. I'm unfamiliar with the guns. I don't know what it was already exactly. He ended up shooting out a state trooper, and horrendously, 3 innocent bystanders were struck as well, including a minor under the age of 12. He was under the influence at the time. As well, I have written to him explaining everything. JBay can be slow, so it might take a while for his response. So they have responded. But how would you handle that? They profess their love to you.
But like this person did it all wrong, right? She was like, or sorry, they were like, I just wrote to the first prisoner I saw. Like, you should have researched their crimes and things like that. So I think this person kind of did it wrong.
I don't think
do
they're
feel for
bothered
them.
by their crime so much. It feels like they want to keep writing to them.
That's true. That's
what I
true.
think they did wrong is that I don't think they've put some boundaries up.
Yeah.
I think in the beginning of the relationship, you have to put some clear boundaries up.
Yeah, exactly. there were no boundaries put up, and yeah, I think I would just, oh man, that's so tough. Um, but I think I would either just be like, hey, I'm so sorry, things have come up, I can't write to you anymore, or start dropping like the things she omitted, like, hey, I'm actually married with children. Um,
You have to also, like, they profess their love. You have to answer it to that, right?
yeah.
I think, like,
And
again, it's just like dating, and you just reject the person, like, hey, sorry, like, I don't share those feelings with you. Um,
yeah,
I'd like to keep writing to you, but I'm not sure at this point if this is the best idea. Tell me how you feel about it. Do you think we can keep having a
friendship.
platonic friendship? But I'm sorry, I just don't feel that way about you,
Yeah, exactly. Insane.
right?
I
Um,
am so taken back. Like, also, like, I can't just, I don't think I've ever felt the need to write to a prisoner. And at first,
does
when we started talking about it, I'm like, kind of sounds exciting. And then now I'm like, no way.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering, if any of this made you change your mind, or if it made you curious about it. I won't lie, it made me very curious about it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think the only reason why I probably won't look into it immediately is, I can barely figure out my schedule as it is, and find time to um, even write a to-do list. So let alone answering to letters.
Mm-hmm.
But especially the queer organization one, the what was it called, Black and Pink.
Yeah.
That one I would find interested. Probably look into like a Canadian similar organization. Um, and I think it can be, you know, not only validating but super interesting. Like, I'm someone who's very curious and who loves to learn about um, different cultures and people in different circumstances. Um, and I think I like to think that I have a very clear idea of what my privileges are and how it's different for other people. I might be wrong. I might have it very wrong, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
No, good for you. I think like that is the kind of person that should be writing to these kind of people, right?
Hmm.
Um, it would be a hard no for me. I find it hard enough to reply to texts from people half the time.
So,
I have so many unreplied emails.
yeah.
I I wouldn't be good at just like I would easily ghost someone without realizing it, and then 3 months down the line be like, oh no.
Yeah.
um, yeah,
Yeah.
and I think I also find it hard to communicate. I'm such an animated person that I need to have face to face phone conversations, FaceTime conversations. People need to use my voice, hear my
Yeah.
voice, kind of thing.
Yeah. A lot of these relationships do evolve to like phone conversations, stuff like that, but those are typically when they evolve into romantic relationships.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I puts me pause. And also, I think I would feel strange being involved in something like this for humanitarian causes, reasons, without also being involved into some sort of victim aid or relief program.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, but then again, like, you don't have to do everything. Um, it's just, yeah, I'm very conflicted about the victim side of things.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree with that. I think it would be hard for me to look past that too.
Yeah, yeah.
This was so interesting.
Thank you. I'm glad you liked it.
I never thought I'd learn this much about pen pals. Like I've heard just like the side of like all the crime podcasts that I've listened to, where it's like all these people have written to Ted Bundy, Gypsy Rose married her prison pen pal technically,
Hmm.
but I've never like actually heard of like how that happens.
Yeah, yeah. No, definitely. It was very interesting to research. There's so many, like, I spent a lot of hours reading like testimonies and stories and stuff like that. Um, that I just didn't have the time to share on this episode. Oh, also, okay, quickly though, this wild thing. There's these prisoners in Mexico. I even have it in my slides. Who started a OnlyFans from prison?
No way.
Yeah, it's no longer on OnlyFans. It got shut down.
Yeah.
But with just cell phones, like contraband cell phones, they started an OnlyFans from prisons, and like they have like orgies on there and stuff like that, and they just like bribe guards to let them film scenes.
Yeah. But you know what? That is another thing I've heard of a lot where it's like a lot of especially like like international prisons where they have like they have cell phones. Like there's another case where this girl was in prison in Indonesia, I believe, in Bali, and she had a cell phone in prison, and she was married to one of the guards, and
Oh,
she had an Instagram account.
yeah.
Uh,
They have
that's
TikTok accounts
insane.
often also.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that's
So
so.
maybe you can have a text pen pal.
Yeah, imagine you get a text from like someone in prison, like, "Hey, can you send me some money?"
I mean, that's
That is,
also a lot of people's reality.
yeah. And I'm like as surprised as I am, I shouldn't be surprised because yeah, like cell phones are getting so common, and yeah, like if they write to people seeking money, just make it OnlyFans,
Yeah,
and that's some good content there, because you and I feel like the people that are attracted to that content are like, oh, this is illegal. They're doing this illegally.
yeah. So I first came across this because in writeaprisoner.com, one of the conditions is that they mention is like, oh, people are not allowed to promote their OnlyFans. And it's like, wait, what? So then I googled like prisoner OnlyFans, and this came up.
Oh my god. So then I bet there's a lot more too.
Probably, yeah, yeah,
But they're probably also like, yeah, harder to find because then if they get found, they get
they
taken down.
they get taken down. Yeah, exactly.
Insane.
Well,
We
that's
need
why
a
I had
whole new
to.
episode on prisoner OnlyFans.
I know. I also wanted to acknowledge that, like, I did not talk about how problematic the prison um, the imprisonment system is, especially in North America and in the States, because there's so much to say about that.
Mhm.
That would have to be like a 2-3 parter episode, I think. But
Mm.
yeah, yeah, still a lot of mixed feelings, but um, I thought we could talk about it, and then everyone can make up their own opinion.
Yeah, exactly. Well, let us know what you think. Leave a comment or a review on any of our social media platforms.
Yeah, we'd love to hear from you.
Thank you so much for listening.
Bye, everyone.
Tell Me Like I'm Stupid is created and produced by us, Sonia and Thomas. You can follow us on Instagram at Tell Me Like I'm Stupid.
If you'd like to support us, please subscribe and review on your favorite podcast streaming platform. Our cover art was created by Ish. Find him on Instagram at h.e.e.s.h.
Thank you for listening.